Welcome back to Thessaloniki, day 2, and the vibes are even better. From the calm of the sea to the rhythm of the streets, we're exploring it all. Grab your coffee, hit play, and let's dive into another perfect Greek day. First spot for today, the Rotunda. One of Thessaloniki's oldest and most iconic landmarks. It's over 1,600 years old and was once a Roman temple, later a church, and even a mosque. Standing here, you can literally feel layers of history in every stone. It's quiet, timeless, and absolutely stunning. Just a short walk from the Rotunda is our next stop, the Arch of Galerius. Built in the 4th century, this arch once celebrated the Roman Emperor Galerius and his victories. If you look closely, the stone carvings tell the story, detailed scenes of battles and triumphs frozen in time. Every detail feels alive even after all these centuries. Next, we are continuing our church exploration with one of Thessaloniki's most remarkable landmarks, the Hagia Sophia Cathedral. This church dates back to the 8th century and was inspired by the Grand Hagia Sophia in Istanbul. From the outside, it looks calm and humble, but once you step inside, you're surrounded by incredible mosaics and beautiful domes that have stood for more than 1,000 years. Inside, you'll find a peaceful atmosphere and breathtaking Byzantine mosaics. The marble floors, arches, and soft echoes make it feel like time slows down for a moment. The central dome shows the Ascension of Christ, a golden masterpiece that seems to glow as sunlight filters through the windows. As we were walking towards our next spot, we were getting inside one of the busiest streets in Thessaloniki. You can feel that this is one of Thessaloniki's most iconic spots. And this is the White Tower, the city's most iconic landmark, standing tall since the 15th century. Originally built during the Ottoman era, it's been a fortress, a prison, and today, one of Thessaloniki's most visited museums. Inside, each floor takes you through a small part of Thessaloniki's story. The first floor introduces the history of Thessaloniki, showing how the city grew from ancient times to become an important port. This section dedicated to old Thessaloniki life, the markets, streets, and people who shaped the city centuries ago. Before reaching the top, this floor gives a look at the tower's architecture and the view that awaits. Then finally, after climbing all those spiral stairs, you reach the top, and the view makes it all worth it. From up here, you can see the sea stretching endlessly on one side, and the whole city unfolding on the other. Looking around, you notice how Thessaloniki blends history and modern life, ancient buildings standing side by side with contemporary ones, churches, monuments, and the city's energy all in one frame. Looking out, the sun sparkles on the water, and the cafe boats sit neatly along the shore, adding charm to the waterfront scene. Right at the center stands the statue of Aristotle, the great philosopher himself, looking out toward the sea. Yes, that's right, we're at Aristotle Square, the lively heart of Thessaloniki. Surrounded by neoclassical buildings, cafes, and open space, this is where the city seems to gather and breathe. And as we move toward the edge, the square opens beautifully to the seaside, where city life meets the calm of the waves. From here, you can feel the real Thessaloniki vibe, locals chatting, kids playing, adding their sound to the scene. No trip to Thessaloniki is complete without trying its amazing sweets and bakery treats. From rich bogatsa filled with cream or cheese to syrupy baklava and perfectly flaky pastries, everything smells and tastes incredible. Next, we're heading to one of the most significant landmarks in Thessaloniki, the Holy Church of Saint Demetrius. This is the city's main church, dedicated to its patron saint, Saint Demetrius, who's believed to have protected Thessaloniki for centuries. Stepping inside, the first thing you'll notice is the size. It's huge and filled with a peaceful glow from the soft light filtering through the windows. The marble columns, detailed mosaics, and old icons make it feel like you've stepped into living history. Some of the mosaics here actually survived from the Byzantine era, which is incredible considering how much the city has changed. Down below, there's even a crypt, said to be the place where Saint Demetrius was imprisoned and martyred. It's open to visitors and gives you a deeper sense of the church's story. Thessaloniki is full of history, and one of the best ways to experience it is through its museums. From ancient ruins to modern art, the city has a little something for everyone. You'll find archaeological collections, war exhibits, contemporary galleries, and even smaller specialty museums tucked between the streets. Most of them are within walking distance of each other, and what's great is that many are housed in restored buildings that tell their own stories. Whether you're into art, history, or just looking to escape the afternoon heat, a museum stop is always worth it. But the one we decided to explore today is the Museum of Byzantine Culture, and it's truly one of Thessaloniki's treasures. This museum gives you a deep look into the city's Byzantine past, a period when Thessaloniki was one of the most important centers of the Byzantine Empire. The building itself is beautiful and modern, designed to feel calm and spacious, which really helps you take in the exhibits. Inside, you'll find everything from stunning mosaics and old manuscripts to jewelry, icons, and beautifully preserved frescoes. Each gallery is like a quiet time capsule, showing how art, religion, and daily life were all connected back then. What's really impressive is how well the displays are arranged. The lighting and the music in some rooms give it a peaceful, almost sacred feeling. You don't just see history here, you actually feel it. One of the highlights is the collection of Byzantine icons. They're incredibly detailed and have survived for centuries. Fun fact, the Museum of Byzantine Culture has actually won multiple awards for its design and preservation work. It's considered one of the best museums in Greece. There are also artifacts from early Christian basilicas and even sections that explain how houses and churches were decorated during that time. If you're visiting, set aside at least an hour to really enjoy it. Photography is allowed in most areas, but always check the signs. And just like most places in Thessaloniki, mornings or late afternoons are the best times to avoid crowds and soak in the calm. Even though we didn't get to explore every museum in the city, this one gave such a perfect glimpse into Thessaloniki's rich, layered past, and honestly, it's a must-see if you want to understand what shaped this beautiful city. As the sun started to set, we made our way to the seafront, to one of Thessaloniki's most loved art spots, the famous umbrellas by George Zombolopoulos. These tall, silver umbrellas seem to float in the air, glowing beautifully against the sky and the sea. It's one of those places where everyone stops for a photo, but it still feels peaceful and calm, especially as the evening light turns everything golden. We spend some time enjoying the streets and the seaside promenade. This area is one of the most loved spots in the city. You'll see people walking, cycling, and just relaxing by the waterfront, soaking in the calm. And just a little farther along the promenade stands the statue of Alexander the Great, one of Greece's most iconic figures, proudly facing the sea with his horse Bucephalus. Next up, these are Thessaloniki's most famous boat bars, those charming floating cafes that sail along the waterfront. There are quite a few lined up here, each with its own theme and vibe. To end the day, we decided to hop on the famous pirate-style ships you'll find lined up along the promenade. There are quite a few of them, each with its own theme, but we chose Arbela, a real piece of history that instantly caught our eye. It's not just a decorative ship, it was actually built back in 1935 on the island of Samos. Originally, it was a wooden cargo vessel, and during World War II it served as a minesweeper for the Greek Navy, helping clear the agency of danger. Hard to believe that this same ship now sails peacefully through Thessaloniki's Bay, carrying travelers instead of soldiers. After the war, the Arbela was restored and later transformed into the cruise bar it is today. You can still see traces of its past, the wooden decks, the ropes, the masts, everything gives off that authentic old ship charm. Each cruise lasts about 30 minutes and departs right from the pier near the White Tower. The staff are super friendly, and the vibe on board is relaxed and fun, with music, laughter, and people soaking in the views. From the deck of our ship, we could spot a 80-plus-year-old Fletcher-class destroyer turned into a museum ship. Built in 1942, she once served in World War II and later became a symbol of freedom when her crew stood up against Greece's military dictatorship in 1973. Today, she rests here in Thessaloniki as a floating reminder of courage and democracy, a quiet but powerful sight along the waterfront. Our ride on the Arbela turned out to be the perfect way to wrap up the day, calm, scenic, and just the right mix of history and fun. And that wraps up our second day here in Thessaloniki. From ancient landmarks to sunset by the sea, this city has been full of surprises and stories. But our journey through Greece doesn't stop here. Stay tuned as we head to our next location. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.